So welcome back to the lecture series of function of complex variable. So in the previous lectures I have actually discussed if one function is given to us that is a harmonic function, how to determine its corresponding harmonic conjugate. Then by combining both we can actually determine the corresponding analytic function. So in the previous two methods actually, in order to determine the analytic function, if real or imaginary part of that function is given to us, we need to construct the corresponding harmonic conjugate. So directly if real or imaginary part is given to us, without finding out its corresponding harmonic conjugate, we can't construct the analytic function directly. But in that lecture I am going to discuss one method that is called as the Milne-Thomson method, where if u is given to us or v is given to us, then without finding out its corresponding harmonic conjugate, we can directly construct the corresponding analytic function. So how to find out this? So we know that if we need to frame an analytic function fz, so both the real part and imaginary part should be a function of x and y. So now we want to convert this real and imaginary part from function of xy to function of z. So how we can do so? So we know that z equals to x plus iy. So z bar will be x minus iy. So if I add z and z bar, so this will be 2x actually. So actually x will be z plus z bar by 2. And if we subtract z and z bar, so this will be 2iy equals to z minus z bar. So y will be z minus z bar by 2i. So now by substituting these values, we can convert this u and v as a function of z and z bar from x and y. Now this will be valid for any value of z, because we are trying to frame an analytic function. So in the analytic function, the value of z can be any arbitrary value. So here we can use the value z equals to z bar also, because this will be satisfied for any value of z. So if we substitute z equals to z bar here, so this will be converted to u z0, because this term will be 0 plus ib z0. So now this fz is converted in the function of z alone. So we know that by using the partial derivative of real and imaginary part, we can actually frame the derivative of the function fz. So what is the f dash z? So we know that if we use the partial derivative with respect to x, so f dash z will be del u del x plus I del v del x. So if we use the Cauchy-Riemann equation, since u is given to us, so we need to transform this in the terms of u only. So that will be del u del x minus I del u del y. So now say del u del x equals to phi 1 xy and del u del y equals to phi 2 xy. So now f dash z will be phi 1 xy minus I phi 2 xy. So already we have converted xy into function of z only. So we can substitute it here. So f dash z will be phi 1 z0 minus I phi 2 z0. So we know the value of phi 1 xy and phi 2 xy. So just in place of x we need to substitute z, and in place of y we need to substitute 0. Now this is a simple differential equation in terms of df dz. So now we can integrate this with respect to z, because this is df dz will be equals to the function of z. So this is a first order first degree differential equation in z and f. So if we integrate this both sides with respect to z, I will get fz equals to phi 1 z0 minus I phi 2 z0 whole dz plus c. So thus if the real or imaginary part is given to us, which we know that is an harmonic conjugate, that is a harmonic function. So without finding out its corresponding harmonic conjugate, directly we can frame the analytic function. So I am discussing one problem, then it will be clear to you. So here u is given to us. So without finding out v, directly we need to construct an analytic function fz whose real part is u and imaginary part is v. So here u is this. So what is del u del x? So del u del x, if you differentiate this partially with respect to x, you know how to differentiate this partially with respect to x, we will get this as del u del x. So you know that del u del x is phi 1 xy. We are assuming that as the phi 1 xy, that is a function phi 1 xy. Then we will do the partial derivative of this function u with respect to y, then I will get this. So I am denoting this as phi 2 xy. Now as per the previous discussion, what will be fz? So fz will be phi 1 z0 minus I phi 2 z0 dz plus c. So what is phi 1 z0? So just in place of x we need to substitute z, and in place of y we need to put 0. So if we do so, so here we will get e to the power minus z into z square minus 0 into cos of 0. Cos 0 will be 1 plus 2 into z into y will be 0. So this term will be 0 plus e to the power minus z, cos 0 will be 1. So that will be 2z plus y will be 0. So this term will be 0. So ultimately if you put the values of z equals to x equals to z and y equals to 0, in this term of phi 1 xy and phi 2 xy, you will get this term. If you simplify this, you will get, this will be e to the power minus e to the power minus z square plus e to the power minus z 2z. So by keeping the second term constant or second term fixed, just we will use the integration by parts for the first term. So if we do that, so z square is fixed. The integration of minus e to the power minus z will be to the power minus z minus 2 into the differentiation of z, that will be 2z, and the integration of minus e to the power minus z will be e to the power minus z. So plus this. So this term will be vanishes. So we have kept second term constant. So these two terms will be vanishes. So what will be the value of fz? So value of fz will be this term only, because this second and third term will be deducted. So this will be z square e to the power minus z plus c. So you can use the previous two methods that I have discussed. So u is given here. So you can find out v. You can construct u plus iv. Then if you put z in place of x plus iy, you will get the same result. So without doing that thing, if it is given in the question that directly we need to find the analytic function without finding out the harmonic conjugate, then we can use the the Milnor-Thomson method to find out it directly. Otherwise, it will be too much hectic for us to find out the value of fz by finding out v first, then by combining both u and v. It will be very much tough for us to do. So then we can use the Milnor-Thomson method. So I am discussing one more problem that is very much important in this context of analytic function and Cauchy-Riemann equation. So this kind of problem might be asked in the exam, as well as these are very important for us to solve in the chapter of analytic function. So if this is given to us and it is given that fz is analytic, then we need to show this equality. So how we can show this? So we know that fz is u plus iv. So mod of fz is root over of u square plus v square. So mod of fz whole square will be u square plus v square. So what will be del 2 del x to u square plus v square? That will be del x of this term. So del of this term is 2u del u del x plus 2v del v del x. So we can use the chain rule here. We have studied in first semester. So if you differentiate u square, that is a function of x with respect to x partially. So first we need to differentiate u square with respect to u. So that will be 2u. Then again u will be differentiated with respect to x partially. So 2u del x plus this will be 2v del v del x. So again we need to differentiate this term with respect to x partially. So this is a product of two functions u and del u del x. So if we give u fixed, then ddx of del u del x will be del x of del u del x will be del 2u del x2 plus, for the second term, if I fix v and differentiate del v del x with respect to del x, so that will be del 2v del x2 plus, if we fix this, so that will be del u del x into del u del x. So del u del x whole square, similarly it will be del v del x whole square. So similarly, if we do the differentiation of u square plus v square with respect to del 2 del y2, then I will get this term. Just x will be replaced by y. So I will get this term. Okay. Then I need to add them, because I need to find the value of del 2 del x2 plus del 2 del y2 mod fz whole square. So that will be del 2x del x2. So I need to combine both these terms. So if I combine this, I will get this. So from that, if I take 2u common, so if I take 2u common, I will get this term plus from here I will get this term. If I take 2v common, then I will get this term plus this term. And I am considering remaining all other terms. So I know that fz is analytic function. So since fz is analytic function, so both of its real and imaginary part will satisfy the Laplace's equation. So you will be satisfying the Laplace's equation. So this term will be 0 and this term will be 0. So now in that term we can use the Cauchy-Riemann equation. So if we want to use the Cauchy-Riemann equation, then we know that f dash z either can be represented as a partial derivative with respect to x or can be represented as a partial derivative of y. So if we want to use the partial derivative with respect to x, then I need to convert all the partial derivative with respect to y in terms of partial derivative with respect to x by using the Cauchy-Riemann equation. So del 2u del x2 is fixed, del x whole square fixed. So del v del x whole square fixed. So now del u del y, we know that equals to minus del v del x. So that will be del v del x whole square. Plus we know that del v del y will be equals to del u del x. So this will be del u del x whole square. So that will be 2 into del u del x whole square plus del v del x whole square. So that will be 4 into, because 2 is there outside. So 4 into this. So I know that f dash z is this. So mod of f dash z will be root over of del u del x whole square plus del v del x whole square. So mod of f dash z whole square will be del u del x whole square plus del v del x whole square. So that is actually nothing but the mod of f dash z whole square. So that will be 4 of mod of f dash. So this kind of problem is very much important in the context of analytic function, Cauchy-Riemann equation, and harmonic function. So I am giving some problem for you to solve from the portion analytic function. So here you need to show that if z is given as this, so that is not analytic at origin, but is satisfying the Cauchy-Riemann equation. That means you need to show that in the sufficient condition of the function to be analytic, both the Cauchy-Riemann equation should be satisfied as well as the partial derivatives should be continuous. But here you can verify the partial derivatives are not continuous. That's why although it is satisfying the Cauchy-Riemann equation, but the function will not be analytic. Then for the second problem, u is given to us, so you need to find out the harmonic conjugate of u and you need to find out the corresponding analytic function. So here, since you need to find out the harmonic conjugate v, so either you can use the first method or second method here. You won't be able to use the Milne-Thomson method. And for finding out the fz, you can combine u and v together to get this result. Otherwise, for the second part, directly you can use the Milne-Thomson method to get the result. And for the third one, the last problem that I have discussed, you need to do in that same way. So you need to show the analytic function with constant modulus. That means if mod of fz is equals to constant, that is c, then you need to show that the function fz will itself a constant function. And here fz equals to this will be u plus iv is given, that is an analytic function. So u minus v is given to u. So u or v are not lucidly given here. So u minus v is given to us. From that you need to find out fz directly. Okay, so what you will do? You will do the partial derivative. You will do the partial differentiation of this equation, partial derivative of this equation with respect to x first. Then you will do the partial derivative of this equation with respect to y first. Then you will use the Cauchy-Riemann equation. You will simplify this. Then you can get the value of del u del y and del v del x separately. So sorry, del u del y and del u del x and del u del y separately. So since you have got the value of del u del x and del u del y, so then you can use the Milne-Thomson method, because this is your phi 1 xy and phi 2 xy. So you can use the Milne-Thomson method to find the value of fz in terms of z directly. So in this lecture actually I have discussed the Milne-Thomson method, by using which directly we can evaluate the analytic function if either real or imaginary part of that analytic function is given to us. So we don't need to find out the corresponding harmonic conjugate. Then I have discussed a few more examples which we can solve actually by using the properties of analytic function. Then I have given some problems to you for you to solve. So this is all about the analytic function. So stay tuned for the next lectures of this function of complex variable. So thank you all for watching this lecture.